Welcome to the show. Welcome to the horror show. Fingernails on the keyboard. Leave your heart at the door. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the final show. Fingernails on the keyboard. Leave your heart at the door. The final horror show. Stay fucking running, creeps. Watching horror movies, one right after the other. Last girl standing, always somebody's brother. I'm never afraid. It's not me in the slasher flick, but I know one day I'm gonna be the final girl. Gonna be the final girl. I get the final word, final action, final blow. In slow motion, blood running cold. This is my horror show, and I'm never afraid. It's not me in the slasher flick, but I know one day I'm gonna be the final girl.
What is up, everybody? We'll be starting here in just a minute. Just had to give myself some coffee, settled in. A little late today, but you know, it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. So we got a lot to go over. A little music playing here from Corpse Mother. Don't worry about the timer. We're not riding this one out. I'm gonna start here in just a minute.
'Cause it's me and the slasher flick. It's me and the slasher flick. It's me and the slasher flick. And I'm gonna be the final
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a somehow 70-something degree weather today. I see that my camera is, of course, out of alignment. I hope everyone's doing well. We have a lot to go over today. I'm starting a little later than normal. I needed coffee. I had a meeting, some stuff I had to do. You know, all the normal, and sleeping, taking a nap. I didn't go to bed till 8 in the morning. I was working late. I literally looked down while I was doing design work. I was like, oh, it's only 3:30. I have all the time. And I look back and it was 8. Yep, that is what happened to me yesterday. Unfortunately, kind of common for me, to be real. Yeah. So, yeah. Headbanging your desk. Nice. Hey, Kyle. How you doing, bud? Let me scroll up here a little bit. I had to walk away and grab water. I forgot to do it before I started. Or we would have started 5 minutes earlier. Hi, Allie. Coffee, no W? Yeah, coffee today. I need coffee. I do a lot of W when I go to work. I do them with the desk, too. I will say that W has been awesome. Like, I was really impressed by it. I think I put a thing in here for it. Hold on here. For those who want W, there you go. I think I added one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, come on. I've been surprised. Jen and I have been using it for over a year. And it's been surprisingly good. Like, really no falls from it. It just kind of coasts with a good amount of caffeine. It's made from coffee substances. Got a bunch of other things in it. I know Allie picks them up as well. CT Live. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look at that right now. I made it. I just might not have turned it on. That's my guess. Dubster? Is it Dubster? It's not the Dubster. Hold on here. I think I just didn't turn it on. I think I made it. Let me look here. I like bitters in it. W wants a new sock? No, that's not it either. Let me look here. Check comments. The W. Where are you, W? Huh. It is exclamation point W. Lowercase, though. I don't know if caps matter. Let me just try this as well. Let's try it again. It's supposed to just pull up. I don't see it. It is on. Huh. Everyone has access to it, too. Let me try saving it again. Try saving it again. Dobby? Dobby? Hello? Do you not love me, Dobby? I don't know. Doesn't work. It's supposed to pull this up, just for clarity, as I copy and paste it in. That's what it's supposed to do. Today, it doesn't want to. I've turned it on and off. I don't know. I just tried turning it off and on again. Nope. I give up. I give up. W needs some coffee. That's right. Anyway. It's very warm in here. Very warm. Did I show you guys this? I was at the Final Girl booth at Gen Con, and this guy just handed me a clicker, like a fidget clicker of a skull keychain. Just handed it to me. He's like, you seem like the right guy for this. Super cute. I'm surprised. Not like I need another doodad on my desk, but it is what it is. So, creeps, we got a lot of stuff to go over today. I have been pretty busy. Like I said, I worked till 8 a.m. yesterday, which is way too much, boys and girls. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to fucking work that long. So, you know, squishy brain click. It's not squishy. It's hard. It's like a hard. It's all printed plastic. It'd be cool if you printed that in like a soft one. He did not though. So I got a couple things we're gonna do today. I have some news, some really big kind of a little hot topic-y news. A new video game that I know Allie will be into, but I think everyone who's played the tabletop RPG will be into it. Some big news out of Paizo is very surprising. I didn't pull an oopsie, it just didn't work. Oh, you're talking about me staying up late? Nah, that's normal. That's normal. Not that late though. We went to the game the other day, and it just since then has kind of fucked up my sleep schedule. So we have some Paizo news to go over. We got what else we're gonna do? Some freebies that are out right now that I highly recommend grabbing while you can. And news on a video game. That's the major news. And then we're gonna go over the new Cypher. The Cypher. So we're gonna get into why I'm changing what I'm doing for our next show. I had to. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into. Oh, I got a little rage information here to talk about. So, as all of you know, when I was at Gen Con, I went to the Ennies, and my card was given to somebody else when I went to checkout. I refuted the purchase, saying no, that is not to be on there, right? And I went through, and no, my card is gone. And I put in to get a new card, and I got one. Now, however many days it's been afterwards, they are trying to reverse my claim that the drinks that the person was charged on my card, not that person's fault, it's the bar's fault. They are fucking changing it and saying I am losing that money again. Chase. I was charged for something that wasn't mine. I refuted it. You gave me my money back. You had to send me a new card. Why in the fuck are you making me call you now? Because you've decided that money has to be charged again. Huh? Fucking, I hate every convention I go to. One of my cards gets fucked up somehow. Every time. It's fucking infuriating. Anyway. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Hey, Nick, what's up? So we got Nick, Allie, and Kyle. Yes, coffee and energy drinks are a way of life. I love coffee. I'm telling you, man, the W stuff, Nick, is solid if you like energy drinks. No dyes in it, none of that shit. I was surprised. So let me switch us over to music so I can do reviews on this and do news. I'm going to do the Dark Retro synth that they've put out from White Bat. Big fan of this stuff. I made a new coffee. It's a Peruvian one, and it tastes burnt. I'm not a fan. It's very sad. Just the style of it. Yeah, Nick, my affiliate link is in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit, here, I can actually I'll put it in here again for you. You get 10% off. And help support the stream. So let's go over and we are gonna record this one. We're gonna start with the Paizo news, go into the video game news, and then go into the freebies. We'll stop recording, and then we're gonna go into we're gonna go over the new Cypher stuff because we need to talk about what's going on with this. So let's get the ad up. Let's start recording. I need a different song to start this, though. Let's do... Boy, what do I want to use? I'll use this one. How loud's the music on your guys' end? Was it decent? Seems fine on my side. Hey everybody, welcome to EFP Live. Oh wait, let me start that over. This isn't EFP anymore. Holy shit. I gotta do that again, that's my fault. I'm a dumbass. I can't believe I just did that. I haven't done that in ages. Ages. We started over. 3. Actually, I'm just going to stop recording and record again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's not working now. What happened? Huh. Oh, hold on. We actually have a tech difficulty here. Stream Deck. One more time. Stream Deck. Do your job, Stream Deck. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Corpse Talk Live. I have some news today. There's some good stuff. What's the date today? August 27th. So we're going to be going over Paizo news, a new video game that's coming out, some freebies you should pick up today, on top of Cypher's big announcement. Now, I'm a big Cypher fan, so this one's going to be... I might get a little spicy. We'll see. We might get a little spicy. So, anyway, enough of that. Let's go check out what's going on with Paizo. Saturday morning cartoons right now from Skleb. Well, I'm a big fan of this new piece that I was doing. Let's widen this so everybody can see it properly. So, Paizo has been producing adventure paths for years and years and years and years since PF1, and they put a new one out every month. Well, Paizo ends Pathfinder Adventure soft covers, switching to a quarterly model. I'm assuming that means that their sales are down for their monthly Pathfinder Adventure paths. Going to quarterly is a pretty big deal. Like, they have been doing this forever. But I read it, and it's way cooler than that. Paizo's ending the line of monthly adventure paths, a new quarterly hardcover replacing long-running product. Paizo announces the change yesterday on its blog, with the shift beginning next year. New hardcover adventure paths will be a minimum of 256 pages, and will have a retail price of $79.99, which is cheaper than the cost of purchasing 4 softcover adventure paths. Paizo also stated that they'll release one adventure path starting at level 1 and another ending at level 20, while the remaining 2 falling somewhere in between. Each adventure path will cover levels 9 to 10 levels of play. The first two Adventure Pass announced the format of Hellbreakers and Hell's Destiny, which both cover the upcoming war between Andoran and Cheliax. The Adventure Pass series started as evolution of Pathfinder's monthly Pathfinder magazine series. Remember, a lot of these guys used to work for Dungeons & Dragons magazine, which is cool. And I'm awesome that they did this stuff. They've released 222 Pathfinder Adventure Pass. Early Adventure Pass were campaigns that last 6 issues, typically encompass levels 1 to 20 play. However, more recently, Adventure Pass structure is shortened and grown more to flexible, shorter length campaigns. Look, there is zero wrong with this. I can tell you why it's happening. So you might have been here on the last show where I talked about how companies are going to start printing in the US through yearbook companies for tabletop RPGs because they're so used to dealing with photos. What do you think this is a sign of? This is a sign of them not being able to print overseas. Obviously, yearbook companies don't do a lot of high-end softbacks. They know they can compress this down to a really good 256-page piece. They can put that out at $79. You're getting a huge adventure path that you can play straight through. This is a smart play. They had to figure out some way to change how their freight train worked, because they were just constantly going. So, really excited for them. I'm glad that they're doing this. I think it's the right play. I really think it's the right play. Now, with that, let's talk about a little video game news. Video game tabletop. It's still tabletop. For those who have played Monster Hearts, I'm a big fan of Monster Hearts and how it is played. I've done Monster Hearts and treated it like X-Men. I have done Monster Hearts and treated it like Supernatural. Overall, Monster Hearts is a fantastic TTRPG. Well, Monster Hearts is now going to be a video game. Rebels against dice and solves a murder. That's right. It's a deck builder and it's not a phase. So check this out, everybody. This is from Rascal News Coverage. They are producing pretty good articles lately, but specifically Monster Hearts video game, Rebels Against Dice and Solves a Murder. It's a deck builder. Look at this art alley. I know if she's watching, this is right up her alley. God damn it. I don't mean to do that. I didn't mean to be punny. But Monster Hearts is an indie darling. His love for depth combines themes of queerness growing up, monstrosities, and mechanics powered by the Apocalypse framework. This makes it a tricky choice for a video game adaptation. The RPG is highly emotional, interpersonal game about teenagers figuring out who they are and who they don't want to be. Think Buffy. That's kind of my Buffy, Angel, that kind of thing. Well, a Canadian-based studio is taking this and turning it into a Monster Hearts TTRPG into a CRPG. And they're ditching dice for cards. I think with plays and moves empowered by the Apocalypse, this is a really smart play. Really fucking smart. I still would love to see this as a TV series. But that means that we're getting a Monster Hearts game. I think it's Ludic Lemur. Ludic Lemur is doing it. I'm excited. They're a small team. We got screenshots of it here. Check this out. So given the state of indie video game publishing, Ludic Lemur knew that they had to rely on crowdfunding to create their version of Monster Hearts. We looked for publishers right at the time when publishers stopped being interested in signing anyone over. So they raised 290,000 Canadian to build this in a 10-month development cycle, hopefully ending to be released in late 2026 or early 2027. So we're a ways out, but I love the look of this. This is a great concept for building your game. So something to keep on the lookout for. I love when we see new ways to do TTRPGs, and there is a gentleman I watch for streams and for general video game news that I'm a big fan of, and he just did a big talk about how he is kind of just burned out with AAA publishing games right now. And look, you can't blame him. AAA games have fucked us over left and right in video games. And then honestly, we've seen the same thing with D&D making mistakes and burying us yet again and stuff. I have to agree. The only people who are not getting pissed on in video games is indie developers making really cool video games for us to play. Now, I think that tabletop RPGs is a little different, but it's kind of, yeah, legendary drops, Nick. That's correct. Legendary drops. And I agree with them. I really do agree with them. Look, here's the full spectrum. I worked in video games for a while. I worked for different publishers. I had my own company, and I saw the writing on the wall early. I left the industry. I've thought about going back every year because I love making video games, but getting into the indie studio is tough. You have to be there at the ground floor. You're usually one of the friends. And they do produce better games because they don't have the budget, the scope, or really all they have is time to produce something that's bloated and feels like shit. And I agree with Legendary Drops. I think that I really feel like the last 3 to 5 years of AAA video games has shown us that they don't give a fuck about what we want. They just want the money in our pocketbooks. And right now I'm playing like crime scene cleaners. I am playing a blacksmith game that's free on the Xbox Arcade. I'm replaying Hollow Knight, getting ready for Silk Road coming out September 4th. I cannot wait. It's finally here. How ballsy is that? They literally dropped. We're putting out a game in 2 weeks, and they haven't said shit for weeks. I'm so excited that is what they're going to do. But my point being is, AAA studios, they just keep adding crap we don't want. And indie games don't. And we've seen it in tabletop as well. And I think video games are a pretty hard reflection of tabletop in general. Like, in general. And honestly, indie games like Monster Hearts is a fantastic example of what can be done with a small team in deving. And now we're seeing a video game get made out, which is super cool. I'm really excited about that. But enough about flaming AAA studios and all that kind of jazz. Let's take a look at some free stuff that you can grab today online. This put up, the bundles were August 24th. So you got a few days since it's the 27th. All right. EN World, welcome to Bundles, Freebies, and Sales column. Cypher preview. We're going to be looking at this on the live show. If it does well, I'll be putting out as its own video for those who are watching this recording later. I don't want to talk about what's here, but we're going to go into the other things. They have the Cyphersystem preview. Animated film K-pop Demon Hunters dominating Netflix right now, but the single Gold has dropped the charts. I believe as a Ballista wants to bring vibes of summer hits to your table. Cool Pop Stars is a custom system where art is magic and music is loud. If pop isn't your genre, it can be adapted. So pay what you want. Suggested of one. We're going to take a look at that. Then we have London 1885. Soot and smoke are swept away by bound elementals, glittering aether lamaps, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced. Lights the streets, city hums, and there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff here in Jim's Pub's House, Secret of the Season. Pay what you want, suggested $4.99. Luke Chandler released Desert Tempest, 7th level adventure for Pathfinder. That's out as well. Thunder, suppressing the music of a native, and that is suggested $6.99. Creeping Darkness for Pathfinder adventure. That is out right now for first level characters if you're getting into Pathfinder. That is for $150 right now. Pay what you want again. And then Mothership Adventure from S. Murphy Games. Hit the ground running. Something wrong on your last job. Now you and your accomplice have a bounty on your head. I feel like I've ran this before. I really do. And then you can pick that up for $2 right now. Unfortunately, Bound Ernie is on your trail. That's great. That's awesome. I'm super excited for that. At the bottom, they have a whole bunch of other things that are up right now for lightning round features of the week. This is cool. I didn't know that this was something that EN World has been doing lately. So, here is the Cool Pop. Cool Pop Stars. Oh, cool like Kool-Aid? Different art. What is this? Magic's art and everything around you. Based on Sexy Battle Wizards by Grant Howard. Oh, okay, this is probably a lot of fun. So this is out right now. It's a rule system, and you can kind of pick this up and do what you want. I'll put this in the chat for the live show people. But I'll also make sure it's down below on the slab. You guys can get all the information off that as well. Now, with that, we have one other thing that we're going to be talking about later in the show. I'm going to be going over the new Cyphersystem preview and going over what it is, what is changing, because I was getting ready to run Warpaint. But for news, everybody, the only news I have from EFP and Corpse Talk to you guys is that the Cartographer will be releasing the 1st of September for Shadow Dark. You can find it on my Patreon page. You can find it on my Patreon itch, DriveThruRPG. It will be everywhere. We already have the Berserker up, and of course, Breachers Volume 1. That's the only news from me. Stick around here for your live show. The rest of you who are watching this recording, stay fucking rotten. All right, now I can address this. What the fuck? That looks like a bot to me. Hilarious though, bot. Hilarious. I love that you have an undead face as well. I just want to point that out. Even if you're a bot, you have an undead face. I don't know who it is, but it's funny. Oh, man. You'd be weird, Tarot. Is that a real question? That's a real question. First off, seek medical assistance if that was a real question. It's not, though. Anyway, I am curious about this cool pop stars. That's kind of neat. Kind of neat. Let me put all this information over in my mem notes so I can put them down below. Paizo AP once a year, quarterly. Then we got Monster Heart video game. I figured you would like that, Allie. I kind of guessed you would like that. You know what? I want to play my new song. Hold on here. I'm gonna play the Red Knight instrumental, and then we'll play the Red Knight afterwards. Where is she at? This is for our show on... What would this have been? This would have been Monday night. So I made this, and I made the Night Road, which is the instrumental version, and then this song. So it'll play back to back. Wait, you mean you provided solid advice to a troll? Hey man, even trolls have got to survive. It had an undead face. I had to give it the benefit of the doubt. You never know. You never know. It could be a creep. It could be one of the horde. Cypher preview. Maybe if I say Spig's name, I'll summon him as I talk about this. So the next part we're going to be going over is the Cypher preview. I really wanted to do this and show you guys what it is, and I'm going to record this preview. I've already read it. I looked through it some with Anthony or Spigs from Cypher Unlimited. There's a lot here. And I was going to... Originally, I was going to run Warpaint for our next campaign. I was super excited. I already started redoing the overlays. All that kind of shit. I was like in it to win it, man. In it to fucking win it. But they pulled this shit. And now we're getting Cypher preview for a new Kickstarter for a new Cyphersystem. Dude, I have a collector's edition of Cypher. I have both of the Cypher versions. Let's just talk for a minute. about Cypher before I flambe what I think is going on. All right. So we have the original Cyphersystem right here. This came out after Numenera, and this was for creating any setting you want based under Numenera, based under the Numenera rules, but for Cypher. Right? This came out, everyone was super excited. There was a big, like a bunch of worlds and stuff came with it. It had really cool original art. Right? Let's see when this was published. I want this for the recording. Printed in Canada. Is there no print date on here? You'd be fucking kidding me. 2015. This came out 10 years ago. Then they did an updated version of it. Oh, it wasn't required, you didn't need it. But everyone had to have it because it was a pretty big change in what was what. Cool art again. They learned a lot. They updated the book. This was in 2019. You have a third-party rule set. Everyone's producing things under your rules. These were at least the same mechanic. These were the same mechanic. Same mechanic. This new one is not. So I was going to run Warpaint, but what do? Do I rewrite all of it? So it's kind of fucked. So we're gonna look over the preview as a group. I'll record my thoughts, my hard thoughts on it after we do the scroll through. So let's go over and get this scroll through fucking started. You can tell I'm really happy. So we got the Cypher preview. Yay. How to play the new edition of the popular award-winning RPG that lets you usually bring your vision to life, any character, any world, any campaign. No addition on it, Nick. That's exactly what I was going to say first. This is basically 3.0. I don't give a fuck what they say. You got 1, 2, and this is 3. That's what this is. 1, 2, 1. Wait, 1, 2, 3. It's bullshit. It's bullshit for our people who are making stuff. So you got 2015, 2019, and then they're doing this one this year in 2025. That's more than D&D did with 3, 3, 5, and on. Like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of... The people are going to buy it, but I don't agree with this. I really don't agree with them building this with their license and all the people who are building stuff. Like, I was going to publish Warpaint this year. I started polishing it up to put it out. I started putting it in the layout to get everything done. And now they're changing the rules, which means that the mechanics for how my mecha work are going to have to change. But I can't write it until I know what's going on. It's going to be 2 books. So they're doing what they did in Numenera, what is it? Discovery and Destiny, which was really cool. Really cool concept. But they're going to give us a player's book and a GM's book. With mirrored art of good and bad. All right? Cypher is a popular award-winning RPG system for the fun, fast-paced campaigns, just itching to burst your imagination onto the game table. It's fast, flexible, and easy on the GM. Players love the vivid, memorable characters that are easy to build, fun to play, never bogged down, and needlessly complex mechanics. GMs love fun, fast-paced adventures, and campaigns that bring their world to life without having to kludge through the rules to make them fit. No, yeah, great. but now you're going to make us learn new rules. You just put out a digital companion. You just put out a digital companion. The fuck are you doing? Here's your slip cover. There's the bestiary. I love this art. I actually really like this. I would love to run this. This is dope. Sci-fi angels? This is what they look like. Like a totally different tear on it. So, how to play Cypher. The difficulty stayed. Let's get the highlighter out here, boys and girls. So, this is the same. This is the same. All of this is the same. They didn't change any of this. It's still a part of base difficulty multiplied by 3. Right? That's what this is. Which is cool. I don't have a problem with this. God damn it. Fucking highlight when I'm fucking telling you to highlight. I'm so frustrated with this whole thing. I'm already mad talking about it. Like, what do you guys think when a new edition comes out this close to one another? Don't you think it's kind of shady? Am I crazy to think that it's stupid? I'll get this, goddammit. What the fuck is going on? I've never not been able to highlight this. Fuck you. Wait, hold on. God damn it. There. There. But like, what do you guys think? Like, this seems too soon to me. So we're still keeping 20 side to side. Sounds like money. Yeah, sounds like someone's buying a house or moving. Right? So that's all the same target number. GM luck never determines outcome. Great. Yeah, because you tell the story. All of this stuff is the same. I think they should have done Cypher Advanced and gave us advanced rules to change the game. Like they did for D&D. You could choose if you wanted advanced, but they don't want to do that because they want everyone locked into the same system. So everyone's playing the same system, right? So they're adding hindered and all that stuff. That's all the same. They talk about your character's sentence, but it's changing. So to create a character, you build a simple statement describing them as I am, fill in the adjective here, fill in the noun here, who, fill in the verb here. Thus, I am an adjective, noun, verbs, for example. You might say, I'm an honorable mage who quells evil. Or I am an impulsive power star who grows to towering heights. The sentence, the adjective is called your descriptor, the noun is called your type, the verb is called your focus. But there's a lot changing here. And these are all art from like all their books they did. You know, it's a preview, whatever. You use the art. But then they change creating your character. Still the same description, type, and foci, right? All that's the same. Might, speed, and intellect. This part is the same. But they change how the pools work. So you don't take damage to your pools anymore. You still use them to spend with what was edge and effort, but they've changed the words. It's not edge and effort anymore, which is good. I hated they were double E's. That's the one thing they needed to change, but like, we didn't need a new addition for that. You know what I'm saying? Could have just been called reduction and edge or effort, whatever. But they're keeping that. Then you finalize your character. Game Master provides you with starting ciphers. It's Cypher. It's time to play ciphers. But they changed ciphers too. So you begin with edge in a pool of 1. Think of edge as a discount. So still the same word. Didn't change it. Edge and effort. Still have effort. You know, my understanding when I was watching interviews with them is that this was going to change, but they didn't. They didn't change it. They kept it. What the fuck's the point? Ciphers. Ciphers are essentially abilities that your character has. Always change up your cipher, spice up the game so your character can pull out something to surprise. Right? Well, the ciphers used to have like depletions and shit. Ciphers usually aren't physical objects anymore. They might describe your GM as a sudden inspiration. So they're going more towards the knowledge-based ciphers than they are the ciphers that were physical objects, which is what the system was fucking named around. They're still using XP as resource points, so this is normal. And players can still get intrusions and shit, right? That's normal. Roll with the XP. So you can use XP in Cypher to re-roll your D20 roll. You can also use them to do a player intrusion, like a GM intrusion. You can also use them to do buy long or mid or short-term effects, like I buy a home with it, I get a contact. You can use XP that way. And they split it, which I have been doing this. This is great that they did this. There's adventuring XP now. And then there are story arc XP. Ooh, is that how I'm going to do it? I'm just going to do it this way. Story arc. And this. I have been using this for a while. And I split it between your adventuring XP is for leveling, for in-game play, like using it to reroll and stuff like that. And character arcs are the only things you use to tier up. Because then it can be controlled. And your players have to really try to get XP to tier up. I like that. I've been doing that. But now they are adding all these other things into the game. Combat changed the most. Damage isn't the same. So here's where I run into my problem for Warpaint. This here. When you inflict damage, normally it's light, medium, heavy, and it's 2, 4, 6. That's normal, right? Yeah, I'm guessing it should be AXP or CXP. That's what I would do too. Agreed. But now they've added a more robust action economy. I think that they realized their game was really simple and people were trying to do more and around than they could. So they've now added first and last actions. This is a brand new mechanic. And we don't know how this is going to work or what's going to get out of the book. So right here, I already can't finish designing my game because the system is changing. Edge and effort are getting renamed. The way you spend XP is closer to what I have, so that's nice. And when we get into this damage and wounds and shit, everything changes. So first actions, a very small number of actions in your game are first actions, which give you the option of jumping ahead to the front of the initiative order. Last actions are a very small number of actions that are last actions. So if you had played Shadow Dark, if you played Shadow the Demon Lord, he has an initiative system that is fast, slow, and wrap up. It's a coin. Fast means that you go either a move or an action. Slow means you can take your move and your action. Wrap up is when you drink a potion or some spells that happen at the end of the round. They're doing the same thing. Why? Why is this happening? Because Rob Schwab is helping write this. I guarantee it. I guarantee this is Rob all over the place. And I love Rob. But this is Rob. That's Rob. I guarantee this is Rob's influence. If it's not, I would be highly impressed if this was not. Calling it now. So, first and last actions. Now we've changed taking damage. The normal way you took damage is you have your 3 pools, your might, your speed, and your intellect. You spent from those to use your powers or to use effort to do things at a higher success than you normally would. The way I explain to people is if something is a difficulty 4, right? You multiply it by 3, that means they needed a 12. You're like, fuck, I'm going to spend a level of effort. I'm going to knock down to 3. Now I only need a 9. And then you would use powers around that, and you have to roll 9 on a d20. That's how the game works. You move 10 down to a doable level of like 2, which is a 6 or higher. That's how they made this game. It's kind of like a reversed engineered version of DC's. Which it is what it is. It's easier to do this math and then let them roll than to do +1s and -1s. That was the thought behind it. It's a very artistic way of figuring things out. It's very a creative way. So now when you take damage, though, you have wounds. You have minor wounds, moderate wounds, and major wounds. Look, dude, this here, that is basically Blades in the Dark. Or, hear me out, Daggerheart. Or, hear me out, Shadow Row. Right? Most characters can take 3 minor wounds, 3 major wounds, 3 moderate wounds, 3 major wounds. So now we have wounds. So now our pools for our stats are very high. Because all you're doing is spending powers more. So are they going to reduce the pool number that you have? So now I don't know how pools are built. Right? So as a designer, I can't balance like I did before because I had an idea of what your pools were based on your tier and where you put your points. And I knew that doing damage to you and you using your powers was hard. A lot of people didn't like that your pool of hit points were also your pool of powers. I enjoyed that because it made you think about how you wanted to handle things. And you didn't always just go to the powers you had to solve a problem. Sometimes you would make rolls to lift the door open, even though you weren't strong, but you were so physically or so mentally tapped, you had to open the door using strength. You had to lift that barrier to get it off your friend because you mentally couldn't use your telekinesis because you were tapped. Those moments in the stories were important. We're not going to see those now. They're not going to happen as much because now it's just wounds. You know, they've changed the mechanics too for avoiding wounds. Now there is a dodge and a block. For those who don't know, there was only defend under the 3 stats. So what the fuck is this? So now you have dodge, which is like the old defend. You use speed to get away. But then there's block, which makes it do less harm. To block, make a might defense roll. If you fail, you are hit and take a wound from the attack. If you succeed, you also are hit, but the wound severity is reduced. So a major wound will give you a moderate wound will give you a minor, and a minor wound doesn't do any wounds at all. So you can just take the blow, superhero style. Great. So now you're taking wounds and you dodge and you block. And now I have a rally to remove wounds, which is like it was before. You had the 3 ways to get wounds back. It was something like a D6 to plus your tier to your pool, and you could do it a round, a 10-minute, and then hours. I don't remember how many hours it was, right? That changed. This stayed the same. Range of movement's the same, as far as I can tell. Then you got special rolls, 17, additional point damage, 18. That's all the same. But I know that they're going to change a lot. Just the damage. Just the damage has changed. This is a 15-page sample of the system, and they're making a new one and doing a Kickstarter that's going to get them another $2 million. And they didn't even talk about this part, right? So the problem that they're going to try to address in here, I guarantee it. Cyphersystem has sci-fi, noir, horror, fantasy. I mean, hold on. Let me just look. They have a series of different like settings. Think of them like frameworks for Daggerheart. They have settings. And those settings, yeah, here we go. Genres: fantasy, modern, sci-fi, horror, superheroes. Superheroes is the one. And they made a book for that. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem you run into in Cypher that they tried to address in 2.0 was, what types do you use? This was the number 1. They're like, oh, what types do you use? So then they went into here, and if you go back into that section again, but in 2.0, now their genres are fantasy, modern, sci-fi, horror, romance, superheroes, post-apocalyptic, fairy tale, historical. Because they put out all these other books. So we go to 251. I'm going to read this to you because I'm calling it now. 251. They currently, because there's types in the game, they tell you suggested types for a fantasy game. Roll, warrior, use warrior. Knight, use warrior. Ranger, use explorer. Barbarian, explorer with favor in combat. Thief, explorer with favor in stealth. Wizard, adept. Cleric, speaker flavored with magic. Druid, explorer flavored with magic. Warrior mage, warrior flavored with magic. Bard, speaker. That's how you, in fantasy, how to handle your types. And they do that for each one of these genres. How much you want to bet that they just build a fuck ton of types for each genre? Because that was the problem with this game. You had to do a lot of, like, kit bash building, which I thought taught you to be a better GM. So now we're getting a brand new version. And I'm not even talking about ciphers. It doesn't even sound like ciphers are the same anymore. Because they used to be like one-use items. It's like a deck you drew, and they were used up. As soon as you used them, they were gone, and they were like items that were one-use. They were like a bunch of potions without always being potions. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not hyper impressed with this idea. So I'm going to record my take on this. I'm probably going to piss some people off. Because I love this company. I really do love this company. But no. So let me arrange my music. I'm going to record this. What do you guys think about this? Like, I feel like this is a bad idea. Like, do you guys think this is... I feel like you're just getting cheated. Don't you? Oops, wrong one. I want this one. Like, I feel like I'm just getting cheated. Hey, Star Trek. It doesn't feel good to me that I'm buying a third book. In less than 10 years. In less than 10 years, I'm buying 3 Cyphersystem books. 3. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish Anthony was here so we could talk about it. I want to bring him on and, like, kind of play the bad guy here. Because this is just not good. Yeah, a little tearsy. It is a new edition. They don't name their editions, though. This was Cyphersystem Rulebook. This was Cyphersystem Rulebook. And that one's Cyphersystem Preview. But it is 3 versions. They changed a lot in each one. Because they put out all these splat books and they circle back and they compile the splat books into rules in here. It's dumb. Going back to the well 3 times in 10 years. Three versions of the same system. It didn't need to be a new version. They needed to stop doing that and support their product and make more. Like, people have asked for more for, what is it? Predation. They've asked for more of that. Gods of the Fall. They've asked for more of that. Like, they should have went back and gave us more in the setting, more powers for that setting, more types for that setting, more foci for that setting. That shit. Not the fucking same rule book again, dude. I'm going to record this, and I don't have a screen piece to go in front because I don't. I'll have to put one in here. So we'll start the music. Recording. Hey everybody, we're here today to go over the new Cyphersystem review. Or preview. You can probably hear this in my voice. I'm not keen on this. And Nick just said it really well in chat. This is a live show that we're pulling this from, but I feel that I need to say something about this. And I would love to be proved wrong. So MCG, if somebody would like to come on after maybe seeing this in the future, I don't care which one of it is from the team, I'd love to talk about it. But I'm a little salty. And I'm sure you've had some salt over in your Discord and whatnot. It's weird to me that we've gotten this edition in 2015. After Numenera, this came out. You gave us the stripped down rules and gave us Cyphersystem. You took all of the setting out and you gave us just the rules to build stuff. Because that's what we asked for. We wanted a foundational building block. We played this. But not for long. Not for long. Not for long at all. Like I said, this is a pretty big book. This was published in 2015. Then in 2019, after you put out a bunch of splat books from Gods of the Fall, Masks, and all that other kind of stuff that came out, you gave us this version of the book. This came out in 2019. And now you're telling us you're putting out another version of the book in 2025. So in 10 years, you're giving us 3 editions of your system. Three editions of your system. Look, I get wanting to polish what you do, but as Nick in chat said, you keep doing this over and over. Why would you do it? Well, why is your system in need of 2 revisions over the first one? Tells me your system isn't done. Maybe it's not done yet. Maybe you have more ideas. Maybe you produce so much content you want to cram it in a book. But we're going to look through this preview, this 15-page PDF, and we're going to talk about the changes that are there. And I got some predictions on what's going on. And this doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't. So Cypher preview, you can get it everywhere. You can see I've already had the highlighter up. We highlighted some stuff. We went through. Let's not talk about the art. The art's from all over different things. It's a preview. Use all the art you want. How to play a new edition of the popular award-winning RPG that lets you easily bring your vision to life, any character and world, any campaign. Look, great. We're getting 2 books now instead of 1. We're getting a player's and a GM's guide. So they did Discovery and Destiny for Numenera. We're getting a split version again. Cool. There's crowdfunding now. Crowdfunding now. Click here to back exclusive items and details. Let's click this. I just want to see what happens. I'll come back to this. Oh, look at this. It's already up and running. $428,000. New goals, GM expansion book, what is Cypher, everything they have here. Yet again, their task of difficulty. They're showing off all their art. They're showing you the preview. Are you a Cypher fan already? Already a Cypher fan? Already? If you love Cypher, and you're really going to love the new edition, we have them. You gave us 2. And now we're getting a 3rd. And they say, if you have a few holes in your collection, you can get nearly 30 existing Cypher titles in PDF with your pledge. All of them largely compatible with the new Cypher. So you have a catalog of 30 PDFs that are Cyphersystem. You're telling people to go buy them now so you can sell inventory while you're selling this. I get that. And I probably wouldn't care if this didn't feel like you were going back to the well too soon. You're going to do this and tell people to buy it, and then you're going to tell them it's sort of compatible. It's easier to jump right into. You want to play a druid barbarian, a new fantasy campaign, a roguish star pilot, a studious investigator of the occult? No need to start with a warrior, explorer, or adept. And common genre. Character generation, new launching campaigns is even breezier, but you can still build from the basics, easily kit bash your heart's content. So they have something cool. They're basically going to more options. They're basically less analysis paralysis. They're going to chop out the thing I just fucking said. I've not looked at this page yet. I didn't even know it was clickable until I was doing this live. But now they're going to have it just like I said in the live show. Now look. Look. Fuck. So now they're going to make it so that each genre that you have, instead of using one of the traditional types that you have there's a bunch of them, more of them. This version gave us so many. Numenera had 3, and then they expanded with more. This gave us some, this gave us more, and now they're going to split them up so that when you are playing whatever genre you're in, they're going to have types pre-built to make it easier. So the one semi-crunchy part of the game that you had was deciding what you wanted to play and making that thing happen. Like, if you wanted to play a magic-based warrior, you can get it. I don't think I would care as much if I wasn't also someone wanting to publish under this, and I've got something I've devved under this Cyphersystem that I wanted to put out that now is going to have to be redesigned to put out under the new Cyphersystem. It's going to be different enough, but is it going to be perfect enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. You have a lot on this Kickstarter. Huge amount of free supplements, everything else. They're really trying to push you. It's 100% AI free. What we're making, what's coming, what's there. All of this stuff we already have. But the thing is if you're going to play Cypher with everybody else in the Cypher community, which the Discord's got 7,000 people in it, you're going to have to play the latest version. Right? You're going to have to play the latest version of Cypher. And this is that system problem that we run into. And now they got it to where the core set's $49. The core set bundle is $99, a value of $199. I can never say that their Kickstarter campaigns don't just pack amazing stuff in them. They always give you more than what you purchase. The value is always way higher than what the actual purchase price is. I can never complain about it. They always crush that. Their boutique style stuff is also really good. But my problem is we're going back to making a system again. So look at the timeline. It's fall 2025, existing supplements and add-ons. As stock permits, they're going to sell through them all. December 2025 is early access. Summer 2026, Cypher character rulebook. Fall 2026, GM, Cypher B Series slipcase, Cypher at VTT, and more. So summer and fall of next year. So we're going to get a player's book, but no GM book to run the game. I hate when this happens, guys. I hate this split model. D&D did the same thing. They're like, hey, here's your player's handbook. Here's your GM's guide. Here's your bestiary. Put them all out together. Please stop splitting, or at least if it's going to print, give me the PDF versions while I wait for print so that I can use them while I'm running the game. So now we're back to square one. So we have a book that had everything in it. And now we're going to go to 2, and they're going to be months apart. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you got a new toy, it is. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when that happens. So let's talk about what they changed, right? Let's load up our preview again, and let's talk about what they changed for Cyphersystem. And there is some things in here that changed that I'm not sure what I think yet until it's in practice. I do believe in at least giving the game a shot before, unless it's draw steal, because that's 4th edition. Unless it's draw steal. I know 4th edition when I see it. But I want to talk about like the things that they're doing. The things that they're building into it. And I think I get the direction that they're going. I just feel like we're having a system change, and for everyone who's doing third-party development, you're kind of screwed. You're kind of screwed. So they show all the version. Here's the 3 books, the GM's character and the bestiary, how to play Cypher. Of course, the art's good. They always have really good art. They talk about setting the difficulty. The difficulties have stayed the same. It's the 1 through 10, whatever the difficulty task is. The task is multiplied by 3. So a 1 is a 3, a 2 is a 6, a 3 is a 9, and so on. Your goal is to take that task level of max of 10 and whittle it down to a manageable number. And I've run these games for people since it came out. I've been running this. I love it. I really love it. It's one of my favorite systems. They talk about target number. They talk about how luck is never determined what the GM does because GMs never roll. all that kind of stuff. They talk about action economy. They talk about what's hindering gotten added in the second edition. Hinders got added. It was a great addition where some skills you were at a -1, other skills you got +1 or specialized +2, making you better at doing those tasks. So again, if we were, let's just say, jumping a river and I have a problem, I'm hindered, it's a 4, I'm bad at jumping across things. If I am trained, it would be a 2. If I'm specialized, it would be a 1. Very simple math. Very simple math. You have the character sentence, the same as always, an adjective, noun, knit verbs. They give you examples here. For the adjective, noun, knit verbs, it is, I'm an honorable mage who quells evil, or I'm an impulsive power star who grows to towering heights. Super cool. I love the sentence structure. Great art from all the stuff they've done. Except for this one. This feels like a upscaled version of Reboot, and it's too uncanny valley for me, but that's a personal thing. They break down building your character, how to create it, what's here, all the things you would expect. They're giving you that. They've kept the 3 stats. They didn't get rid of our 3 stats. You still have these 3 stats, might, speed, and intellect. But it's going to change on you. We still have effort and edge. This is your chance, Cyphersystem. This is your chance to rename it. Don't keep effort and edge. Call it like effort and reduction or something. Just don't double E me. They have your abilities in here. They talk about your edge pools, how they work, how you recover pool points. Using effort, you can recover stuff, and so on. And so on. They talk about durations. They talk about ciphers. But I guess now they usually aren't physical objects. And back in the other system, they're physical objects. So the library I made of ciphers may not work anymore. I don't know until it comes out. They did what I've done. They split your adventuring experience. You got 2 forms now, right? Like, let me put this back on. You have 2 forms. You have your adventuring XP and your story arc XP. Story arcs, again, got added in the revised one. They're amazing. They remind me a lot of the X-Men heroic system that came out, Cortex Engine, where you had kind of like the 3 ways to gain experience. It's kind of how these work. They're a story you do. Upon completing them, you get XP. And I only let players use that to raise their pilot level, their pilot tier in Warpaint. They have resource points. Each time you spend XP to advance your character, you gain resource points. Those are the things where you make choices on your tier for what you want. They haven't talked about the tiers. We don't know if it's still going to be the same amount of tiers or what's going on yet. Talk about GM intrusions, a core part of the game. They're not going to get rid of that. But then we get to combat, and this is where it changes. Look, the way it used to work is if I damaged you and you took damage to your might pool would reduce, which means the powers that use those pools would also reduce. So if you had, let's say, 12 points in it, and you wanted to cast a power that was 2, but you've taken a bunch of damage, you know those 2 points are going to put you in a bad state where you might be paralyzed or crippled on the ground bleeding out. Right? Like your arm gets bashed and crushed or whatever it might be. Or maybe you're taking mental assault from a telekinetic and your intellect pool is low. That is how we did it before. It was a gambling game. You had 3 resources, and those resources were survival for each pool, your hit points, but also your resources to use your powers. But they got rid of that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Also, I just want to say this here. This looks like Rob Schwab. Right? This looks like Rob. This whole first last action thing here. This reminds me of his system. That's what this reminds me of. First actions, last actions. He had slow and fast. Fast rounds where you moved or took an action. Slow was both. He had wrap up at the end. I feel like first actions, last actions are like that. They're giving more choices for combat. That will also affect how my mecha work. For my hounds for Warpaint. As a designer, that becomes a problem. But I think it's a really cool addition to add a little crunch. Taking damage. You now have 3 severities with 3 wounds in each. Minor, moderate, major. So they're taking some of the Dagger Heart or maybe Shadow Run. And that's where your damage goes now. So, great. There used to be 3 forms of defense. You would use might, speed, or intellect to defend against certain things. Now it sounds like you got dodge and block. You either dodge it with speed or block using might defense. And might defense allows you to lower the severity. If it was a severe, it becomes a moderate becomes a minor becomes nothing. So you could block it, be tough. Pretty cool. I like it. That's cool. But now that changes my game as well. Rallying to remove wounds, cost you might points. So instead of you taking points to your pools, you spend points from your pools to heal some of your damage. And that's how they're still making it to where your pools seem semi-balanced. We'll see if it works. I haven't played it. Ranges are the same. Your minor and major effects are the same. Pretty cool, right? Right? It's cool. We're getting a new edition. Yay. 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 Except, I just got this in 2015. I just got this in 2019. If these never came out, if this one never came out in 2019, and instead they were making this version, I would probably be okay. I probably wouldn't be upset. I probably wouldn't be frustrated. I probably wouldn't feel like you went back to the well too many times. Instead, I'd be like, this never existed. This never existed. We had this one. It's a great game. I love it. Oh, man. 10 years later, I'm getting a new edition. Cool. I'm excited. 10 years later. But that's not what's going on, everybody. We're getting a new edition on top of the two that we already have. And it's not going to be backwards compatible. We've heard this since 3.0. Things are not backwards compatible. It's not how it works. There is no backwards compatibility when you change rules. You can hack things to be compatible, but they are not directly backwards compatible. I, as a GM, don't give a flying fuck. But as a designer, now I have to put Warpaint on hold. To be smart. There's a few reasons for this. I don't know what their license is going to be under the new one, if there is one, or if they're going to wait a couple years. You guys have got to remember, the original license for Cypher was only through DriveThruRPG, and they took a huge cut on top of what DriveThruRPG did. And then they changed it. But I don't know what that new one's going to be. Maybe that Kickstarter has something on it. If someone knows what the new license is going to be, post it down below so I can go take a look. But that pauses me wanting to build Warpaint for the system. It really does. It really does. Because I risk not being able to license it. I mean, congrats to MCG on Backer Kit doing another Kickstarter. I understand the Kickstarter model. I'm not even opposed to it. I think it's a smart model. I just don't like you coming back to the well for the third edition of a system that's beloved that we're all already playing. I don't think it was needed. I think that advanced rule set would have been kind of cool to do. But I get that you want everybody under the same umbrella so that when you're running your games at conventions, everyone's playing the same system. That complexity level isn't thrown in randomly, and it's not like, well, my group uses this. But what do you guys think? I feel like that I'm getting cut up on the slab here and being told I need new parts. Comment down below. Are you backing this? Do you think that a new edition is a good idea? I didn't see enough changes in there that made me extremely happy. On top of not being extremely happy about it, I want to know what the license is going to be. Is it still under the old license for Cypher? A little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. Hopefully more information comes out to change my spirit on this whole situation, because it is one of my beloved systems. From a company I respect, but I don't like this play. Stay fucking rotten, everybody. Not happy. Not happy about it. With that said, let's talk about something that is a little happier. I want to thank my lovely patron members here. You turned down toe tags because, well, it was loud last time. I just want to thank everybody who has helped support my Patreon and give me the ability to make the things that I make. Without these wonderful people, I wouldn't be able to produce the shows that I do, the content that I make, the things that I create, the products that I put out, They're the ones who help support and make sure that, you know, lights stay on and new cameras come in, and paying for all the programs that I pay for are possible. So I just want to say thank you so much for supporting this endeavor. It has been amazing since COVID to be able to doing this full time. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can find me on Eric Frankhouse Presents everywhere. If you do sign up to my Patreon, you get access to any PDF I put out while you are a patron, and then you get discounts on purchasing products and so forth, depending on the tier you're at. That's it for me for this recorded one. For those who are live, stick around. We'll talk a little bit more before I close out the show, but patrons, you're amazing. I can't thank you enough. All right, so let's talk for a minute here. I don't like that they're making this. I really feel like I'm getting fucked over. I know some people are going to like it because the change is enough. But as a designer or a third-party publisher, I'm not going to support making things for the system, I don't think. I don't think I can. And I'm going to be totally transparent. I haven't sold anything under this license. Because every time I'm in the middle of debbing something, putting something out, a new edition came out. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. I was doing the first one in 2019. I'm getting ready to put Warpaint out. And they say, oh, there's a new one coming out. Fuck me. Now I got to go back through everything. And I already started doing all that for the new version. I was getting us ready for the Kickstarter. Or not Kickstarter, for the stream. And then I was going to kickstart a small version of Warpaint. And for like, I wanted nothing. Just enough to get the print run done and pay for some more art, right? Because there's an artist that I want for this job. That's all it was going to be for. But now it's a new edition. And I would have to change a lot in how my mechanics work. I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel good. Maybe I'll feel better once the Kickstarter is going on a little more. What I wanted to do here is I would like to watch this video with you guys before we call it for the day. Hey, Amir. Buddy, you still got to come pick up your shit. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, another book you need to get? No, you don't need to get this one. It's not out yet. It's just a new version of Cypher. And like I said, 2015, 2019, 2026. Just, it's too much. Answering somebody's Discord message. So let me turn off toe tags. Let's see what this is about, shall we? It's a longer video. It's kind of where I want to close out the show.
And I just wanted to talk about some of
I won't be home later.
in the new edition of Cypher. So we're doing a new edition, and
Oh, God.
hi, I'm Monty Cook, and I just wanted to talk about some of the innovations in the new edition of Cypher. So we're doing a new edition, and you know what's changing? That's a big question on everyone's mind. Well, first of all,
Let's move this over to YouTube so I can wide it.
First of all, let's talk about what's not changing. You know, all the stuff that makes Cypher really easy to run. You know, the way that NPCs have their own mechanics, and they're very, very simple and straightforward. Sometimes you only need a single number in order to describe an NPC.
Sure.
You know, all of that stuff, and gem intrusions that help you, shape the story and introduce cool things. None of that's changing. So that means that like all the past settings and the adventures and source books and stuff, all of that stuff still totally usable with the new edition. But what is changing? Well, let's talk about just some of the big sort of innovations of the new system. The first one is that when you make your character, you've got
I think they should
a
have
lot
anybody else
more
do this.
options. And why is that such an innovation? Well, because originally in Cypher was more of a toolbox.
Yes.
And you had various tools and pieces and whatnot, but in order to create your character, you kind of had to do a lot of work and figure out how to make it all work
Not
together
really.
and whatnot. In
So,
order
like,
to
look,
make your
that doesn't even make sense because they made a digital tool that was free for everyone to fucking use. It made it so easy to make characters.
barbarian character for a fantasy or your star pilot for a science fiction. Now we do all that work for you. And there's a type in the fantasy genre chapter that's just barbarian. And there's a type in the science fiction section just called star pilot.
So this is why we got a split book, because all of the sections for their genres are going to have pre-built types in them to make it quicker for new people to be onboarded. Because I think that by doing this, my guess is by doing this, more people will come play the game because it's easier to onboard somebody. But the rules are still, you got to explain them. The character creation aspect was never the problem. I never thought making a character in Cypher was that hard. But they hit a bloat level as they put out all these other abilities and things like that. I think that they're thinking bloat hit. Now they're going to bring it back in and redo it.
All that work's been done for you. Really simple. And you still get to then create your character sentence, right? You're a blank blank who blanks. And so you still have your descriptor, your type, and your focus. But another cool innovation, is the way that focus works. Because now focus isn't just a list of abilities, one per tier that you get every time you gain a new tier. Now it's more of like a skill tree that you've maybe seen in other games, particularly video games.
No. Why? Why? They Diablo'd it. They Diablo'd Cyphersystem. Why? Other games have tried to do this, and he tried to do it with some stuff in Invisible Sun.
And so it gives you a whole bunch more choices. You kind of make your own path through the foci list. And that's really fun because you can go back up and, start down a different path and make your character exactly what you want it to be. It also means that as designers, we're not limited by just giving you 6 or so abilities for your focus. Now we had the ability, you can have as many as we wanted to, which means we were free to add in a bunch of cool new abilities.
The second half of it sounds good. I hate the idea of skill
combat
trees.
related, but cool things that you can do. So if you're bearing a halo of fire, now you can, use your fire as a jet if you're falling and keep yourself from taking taking falling damage, or things like that, things that allow you to express your cool
They probably
focus
learned that
in
making the
different ways that
superhero
aren't
version of
just,
Cypher.
I blast him with fire.
That's my guess.
You can still blast him with fire. So there's a lot of innovations, and almost all of them have to do with the character creation. Now, the way that another big one that has to do with player characters, though, is the way you take wounds.
Okay.
Now in
this is
Cypher,
so this gets into the
when you
damage
take a
section of
wound,
it and what they've changed for damage. That's dope looking.
It's going to be either a minor, a moderate, or a major wound, and that shows you the severity of the wound, and it shows you
Blades in the dark,
what
Shadow Run before
penalties,
that.
if anything, you survive, you suffer, right? If you take a minor wound, it doesn't, you can just keep going. But if you take a number of minor wounds, then they're going to sort of equal a moderate wound, and then the moderate wounds kind of all add up and become a major wound, and that's where things get really scary, and you start to really face a lot of
I'm assuming it's every 3 equals
as a
1
character,
because that's how many you get.
but you can use points from your might pool to kind of shrug off those wounds, say, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And so your might pool is still really important to your character when they suffer damage.
All right. Oh, Amir, you still there? How's that been? How's the card shop been? I don't agree with all this.
And the other big thing closely related to that is when your character's attacked, now you have the option of, kind of like you always used to be able to do. You can dodge, right?
Right.
That's a speed-based action. You can dodge. But now you can also do what's called
Because all the
block.
foci are going to be
And that's if you're wearing
insane.
armor or you've got a shield. You can make a roll to block the damage instead of dodging. And this is interesting because some characters will be really good at dodging and some characters will be really good at blocking, and some characters, will have the choice every time, in combat.
Yeah, if your MYTHIC speaks to it.
And, the big difference is if you dodge, you avoid the attack entirely. If you block, you still might take some damage. But it's always reduced. And so there's a lot of things to play around with there. And, with the different genres, you'll have different, your characters will have more or less wounds that they can suffer. And so,
Sure.
if you're playing in a very realistic, gritty horror kind of
And it's
game,
going to be one
Magnus
instead of
Archives
3
kind of game, you might have very few, and it's really dangerous and deadly. But if you're playing a sword
So
and
they've
sorcery
put
game where you've
this
got,
in here as a way to handle genre specificity for how high fantasy to how modern and gritty it is, because then you can be like, hey, you only get 2 minor wounds, 1 moderate, 1 major, and that's it, right? Like that's what you get. So that if you're playing a Cthulhu-esque game and you're investigating, you get punched, it's a minor. But someone breaks your fucking arm, you're kind of not doing as much. It might be a moderate wound, right? A broken arm's a moderate wound unless it's compound. And you have to sling it up and you're at a penalty the whole time. But those shouldn't be able to be healed through using might.
Conan-like characters or playing superheroes, right? You might have
It has to be unhealable. It has to be medical
only
only for some
wounds.
shit.
And your rate at which you can recover from those wounds will be different as well, depending on genre.
Yeah.
It's just another tool for us to
tell
make
stories.
The different genres that
This is why
that Cypher
This is why
covers.
Daggerheart has armor and hit points and thresholds so that the storytelling is on both sides of the screen.
Work
That's why.
differently and more like what we're expecting when we read a book in that genre or watch a movie or whatever. So those are just the highlights. But some of the big changes that are going to happen in Cypher 2, we're excited about all of them, plus a bunch of little stuff that we're doing. And we hope you'll check it out and give Cypher 2 a try, because
They're calling it Cypher 2.
Confident that you're going to like it.
But there's 3 books. So Cypher, Cypher Revised, and Cypher 2. I like the new logo, though. Look, what do the comments look like? Incredibly excited. Thank you for all your ideas and work. Thank you. I love this. Everything looks interesting for the better. Can't wait. Okay. Is there any new plans for the Invisible Sun? No. Not the changes I needed to go back to the system. Okay, so we got one kind of meh on it. Oh, yeah, there's Cypher Unlimited comment. Imagine. Look, guys, I mean, I get that they want to go back and make a new version, and they've learned a bunch of stuff as a designer. I get wanting to make new versions of stuff. But I'd rather had a toolkit book, I think. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, man. Again, I think if we didn't get that one in the middle, I wouldn't give a fuck. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. No, stay. I hit my pedal. I didn't mean to. I wish it would have stayed. It would have been fine. It would have been fine. But anyway. So, with that, everybody, I don't really have anything else for the day. Oh, that's not true. I do have something else for you guys. Would you guys like to see where I'm at with the Daggerheart stuff for Magic and Monsters? Want to see everything I've done so far? I'm pretty thick in it. That's why I was up to 8 in the morning. And I don't know if I'm doing Rise and Design this week. I might, but no guarantee. You guys want to see what I've done? Got your key on the 4th day. Yeah, it sounds like you're stuck now. Play this game whenever you want. How far are you driving for, Demir? Where's it at? Is it close to the side of town? Where's it at? It's bat me over there. I'll show you what I've done so far. Well, Magic and Monsters is moving to Daggerheart because I ain't running 5e anymore. That's just a placeholder. So I got the layout done. These are the tops and bottoms, left and rights for the pages. You're welcome into the game. This is the framework for it. The overview. Obviously, more art will be at the bottom. Communities, I'm working on those right now. Hartford, that's not that close. Extras pages. The courts, the secret game, the court assembly. I'm working on the rules right now. These are just placeholders for the other side. And then I started doing all the court art for the logos. On top of like Court of the Shield and the Renowns. I'm probably going to rework this for Daggerheart because they don't have rules for Renown anywhere. 30 to 40 minutes away. Fuck, man. Court of the Hound, which is Conjuration. Court of the Eye, which is Divination. The 8 Pupils. Court of the Rose. Those will be different color roses based on what family you're part of. Court of the Wand. Court of the Owl. I love this one with the smoke kind of up and over here. I might rework this part. I'm not 100%, but I still like it. Court of Bone, which is Kelly's favorite. You can't see it, but there's like hands growing out of it, like all broken and fucked up. I just use a bunch of Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop images that I put together. My favorite, this was the most time-consuming one, which is Court of the Scale, Transmutation. It's all the metallic and chromatic scales on like an egg. And then the faces of people in mid-transmutation, like changing over. And I made it like kind of... The only uniform part is the top and the bottom. Everything else is kind of... I mirrored it and then like pushed and warped things. This was a Baroque frame that I found that I just manipulated the fuck out of. And then we're going to work on the mark system, which I know how that's going to work. The mark system is going to be when you pick your ancestry as a human, you get both the human traits, and then you're going to get your court you're a part of. And the court's going to come with abilities that stack over what you already do. So like a Court of the Wand, which is the specialty of destruction, you can add a form of destruction to anything that you do for hope or stress and like blow up doors, shatter fucking gates into places, things like that. But the marks, as you get marked, there's a way in the game to where if you're a human and a giant, you pick between the two ancestries, top and bottom, their abilities. So you can pick human for either one or giant for either one, but you can't pick the same slot. So that'll happen the first time you're marked if it's by something. You'll lose one of your human abilities and you will gain one of the mark abilities. And whatever the most powerful mark you have is what takes that slot. If you get marked twice and one's more powerful than the other, you'll start taking on the aspect of whatever that second marked creature was. If it's a beholder, you might get a beam attack, whatever it might be. The third time around, if you fail your saves, you become that monster. If it's playable, like an elf or an orc or something along those lines, you become that playable race. If you're just a half version of it, you're the half version of it. With that said, on short and long rests, you have the chance to fight the marks off so that you don't really change until the next day. You transform overnight. But if you fail that roll, you keep the marks. If you make the roll, you push them off. None of those marks take effect, right? So I'm working on those right now. Rules for the secret game. The Schools of Magic is going to change into something else because there's no schools. Overviews. This is just a breakdown of pages. You can see all the font work that I went through for it. I'm kind of picking what I want. The backgrounds, the old logo, the Daggerheart press kit, and then this was the map in color, and then behind it is the map in the red and blue. So I'm going to redo this in just black and white, like the maps you get from Devon Room in the back of the Dagger Heart book, so you can mark locations and stuff. And really, everything in the game takes place between these two mountains. You can go out to the other lands, but those are like your vacation and downtime. Everything that happens in this area, because the fencing fields change all the time. You can make whatever the fuck you want in the fencing field. The only consistent thing in the fencing field is the river that flows through. Everything else changes. That is the only thing the same. These two forests are the same, always. That's it. Super clean. It's a great setting. It's a very large space, though. Very large space. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy. I love the art that I got for the logos. It took a long time to make them, but they look good. I really like this owl, though. Really happy with this. Monstrous was the version of this that I wanted to use. I wanted like that monstrous look with all the eyes on everything. And it's just there were buttons that I found, button eyes that I just kind of warped and put in and recolored really quick. And all these are frames from when I was doing Dragonlance. Right? Oh, I love this game. So, I have a description for this game now. An actual description. So let me grab my information. Scroll up. Let me find it. Probably here is probably the easiest place to find it. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna cut this and put it so I can see it easier and read it to you guys. Give me a sec. We'll put it here. There we go. So, this is the new description for Magic and Monsters. Amir played in it originally when I was doing it. This is Magic and Monsters Marks of Men, an epic Baroque fantasy of beauty and ruin. Two kingdoms teeter on the edge of war, their jeweled courts thick with masks, whispers, and the meddling hands of gods who envy mortal lives. Every soul is born human, every hand carries magic, and every spell cast risks leaving its mark. A transformation as dazzling as it is dreadful. Those who change too far are cast into Imperia, the exiled kingdom, radiant with the truth the assembly dares not see. This is a world where every triumph gleams brightest before it breaks, where the stories we tell will always be something dazzling, dreadful, something beautiful. So the whole concept of this is that Baroque horror style of beauty and ruin and transmogrification. You guys all know I love, Warpaint has the idea of transhumanism. This has got that idea of the high magic feel of it, but Baroque was the word that was missing when I was doing this. And I was going through my old art books from school and researching stuff online. It's like, oh my God, it's a Baroque fantasy. That is what this is. And if you look up Baroque art, it is a great representation of what I want this to be. So, for example, let me unchrome us so I can pull up some art here. Baroque horror art. And then I will look up Baroque beauty as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, let's take a look at these. These are some of them. I've used some of these for Corpse Talk. These are some of the Baroque horror, body horror fantasy style pieces. Look at that fucking monster. Dali inspired, the melting faces, the odd demons, person getting eaten. These are all art pieces. Right? Of that time frame and style of art. I love this piece. Just crazy shit. Just fucking wild stuff. That's some AI shit. Real art. Wild. Right? So those are your Baroque style. So I'm getting that style that I want. And then the beauty style of it is the super well-made, really clean, gorgeous looking art of the Baroque time frame for art. Right? Really clean, like just vivid, bright colors, oil, Renaissance feel in some spots, hyper detailed. Some of these are obviously CG. I can't phase them out. Right? This. Some wild pieces. I love this piece. So we're going to get this kind of style, which has got a little Final Fantasy to it. But this feels like a Final Fantasy image to me. So that is the style of what we're doing for it. So I am working hard. And I can tell you that we're not doing war paint, unfortunately, for the next series. We only got a few episodes of Mythic Bastionlands left. We are instead going to be doing Mythic Bastionlands is probably going to come back for a second season. Won't be right away. We're going to be doing Magic and Monsters, Marks of Men. I won't announce much more than that. Just know that I have a lot of work to do to transfer it from 5e to Daggerheart. The process is going well. It kept me up to 8 in the morning. But it's coming along. It's coming along. I mean, dude, we got to have this kind of fucking wild shit in my game. I love body horror. Look at this. Is their depiction of hell. Depiction of hell. That's a random song that I did not make. It went to a totally different area. So anyway, that's all I really have for the day, everybody. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys had fun. Listen to Corpse Mother here. Take us back over to the solo frame. So that's it for me. I am going to be around for a little bit, but I got some work I got to get done. I got to do a run around town. Amir, I won't be around until Friday. I'll be around Friday if you want to come pick your stuff up. All the packages have been sent out that have been bought so far. I'm doing another print run right now for Breachers. I'm almost done with Cartographer. The Cartographer will be out on the 1st. You can find everything over either at the merch store here, or you can find it over on our Patreon. I do have a merch piece coming out for Mythic Bastionlands as well, because I feel like I should put something out for you guys for that. On top of that, I will be around maybe on Friday. I might do Rise and Design on Friday. We'll see what happens. That's it for me, everybody. Stay fucking rotten. I'll see you guys hopefully this weekend.